So again, this is October, November 2023, variant 2. Let's go to the first question in order to save time. We will finish the meeting when we finish answering this paper, guys. It might take 1 hour, it might take 1 hour and a half. Whenever we finish the paper, we will end the meeting. Red blood cells are specialized cells that transport oxygen. State the substance in red blood cells that combines with hemoglobin. This is from the second topic we learned about hemoglobin, which is the chemical substance or the substance needed for transport oxygen. And you just need to write hemoglobin going to the next question. He wants you to state the name of the components of blood that promotes blood clotting. If you want to answer in the via chat box, fine. Yes, exactly, Masauda. The second question is platelets. So we will write platelets. Nice to know this information, Masauda, but there is no need to write it. I want you to write hemoglobin as a substance needed to be combined with oxygen. Masauda said it will form oxyhemoglobin, but there is no need to write this information here. The second one, platelets. And you know the mechanism of converting all of the soluble fibrinogen into insoluble fibrin. And this is for the mesh needed in order to form the blood clot. The C question, some students investigated the effect of immersing red blood cells in different concentrations of salt solution. They measured the diameters of samples of red blood cells and calculated the mean. They then immersed each red blood cell sample in different concentration of salt solution. When we start reading this, we will understand definitely then that this question is related to cell transport and the difference in either diffusion, osmosis, movement of particles. We got the idea of the question. After 2 minutes, they measured and calculated the mean of the samples again, and there is a table they recorded the results in. Percentage concentration of the salt solution increases. It starts with 0.4, and that's what I want you to do, guys, in the exam. Just take a look quickly, Yahya. Take a look on the data that you have in a table, then you can go to the question. Please, 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 don't go to the questions directly. Take a look, you will lose nothing. You will lose nothing. Mean initial diameter, and as you can see, it's all started with 7.5. And finally, the mean diameter of the red cells after 2 minutes. Look, because we don't have a cell wall, and that's what we said for the red blood cells and for the animal cells. The cells, all of cells has been burst for the percentage concentration of salt solution 0.4. However, when we start 0.8, 0.9, 1.2 for the same period of time, and we started with the mean initial diameter, the mean diameter became less. Okay, so for 7.5 became 6 at 1.8. At 0.9, it was 7.5, and it was exactly the same. What is the indication here, Masauda? No, the percentage concentration of salt solution equals the percentage concentration inside the cell, because there is no change in the mean diameter of the red blood cells. So, Malak, when we have no change, when we have no movement of solution, this means diameter is exactly the same. Yes, Masoud?
Mr. How does in the zero point 0.4 the cell bursts, however in 1.8 the cell does not burst? لأن هو أصلا 1.8.
Great, great. Is it related to the 0 point, the amount itself, or related to the concentration of the salt solution inside the cell? And this control the movement? Very good question. You thought that as concentration increases, it should change the cell being pressed quickly, or it should damage the cell membrane. No, it is a kind of relationship, يا مسعودة, between the salt solution outside and the salt solution inside the cell. When the salt solution increases, when the concentration of the salt increases, this means water decreases. Again, when we have less salt, this means we have more water. When we have more salts, we have less water. So the water potential change, this means that the water moves from high concentration to low concentration, as you know, by osmosis. So water moves here because here we have high concentration of water or high water potential. So water moves here from the solution to the cell. This means cells pressed. However, when we have 1.8, this means that we have high salt solution, but low water potential or low concentration of water. So water moves from the cell to outside. From the cell to outside, this means the diameter decreases. You got it, guys? You got it, Masouda? This is the concentration of the salts, not of the water. So when we have high salts, it means this means that we have less water. So movement will move from high water potential to low water potential. This means now it will move from the cell, and I'm talking about 1.8, from the cell to outside, and this causes shrink in size and shrink in diameter, reduction in diameter. You got it, guys? Could you please reply? Sauda, she said yes.
تمام يا مستر.
اوكي يا حبيبي، اوكي. احلى حاجة تمام بتاعتك دي يا واد يا يحيى. ماشي. Great. Yes يا براء. If you don't understand it, I could repeat it again. Yes, براء.
Yes, I didn't get it.
Okay. Look, I will draw it, and my drawing is unrelated to this question, but I will draw it now. Look, now we have solution. This and the cell is inside. This solution, Bara, has 0.4 concentration of the salt, and this solution has 1.8. So this solution has low salt. This means it has high water. Are you okay with me?
Yes.
Okay. High water. This solution has more salt, so it makes sense. It has low water. When we have high water potential in the solution, so water moved from high to low inside the cell, right? When we have water potential outside in the solution, this means that water moves from the cell to outside. So here, cell will enlarge in size and in diameter because water moved in, and after a while, cells burst. However, in this solution, water moves from the cell bara to the solution, and this means cell shrink in size and reduce in diameter. This is the idea, because here is giving you the percentage concentration of the salt solution. This means this is the concentration of the salts. You got it? Is it okay now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great, great. I like the idea that you will not skip one single question without understanding. That's great. Okay, Adam said yes, then okay, Muhammad Saad, yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's go to the percentage. I'm sorry, what is that? Percentage increase. So Masauda, try to answer this with me. Calculate the percentage increase. He's talking about the second one. Percentage increase in the mean diameter of the red blood cells in 0.8 salt solution. What is the formula first of the percentage increase?
Final minus old over old, صح? Times 100.
Exactly. Final minus original divided by original times 100. So could you please substitute what is the final here?
9.3.
No, this is the final mean diameter. And this is the original.
I was talking, Mr. about
You are saying the answer. Okay, okay. Divided by the original times 100. Yeah, that's why I feel the number I am familiar with, but it's not from the date. Okay, so 8.2 minus 7.5 divided by 7.5 times 100. And please don't forget that he wants the answer to two significant figure. So the answer will be 9.3%. Okay, Omar Hatem, is it fine? Adam, okay. Malak Ahmed, I don't want to mention all your names, guys, but please let me know if there is any problem of any kind. Explain the results for the red blood cells. Do you have Osama? Osama is here in the meeting, Osama and Mary. Let me check. No, type fine. Okay. Explain the results of red blood cells that were immersed in the 1.8 salt solution. And this question is 3 marks. Look, Yahya, how could you explain the idea that I mentioned for 1.8, sorry, for 1.8 solution? I will not ask you, but I want you to focus with me now. We will write that the salt solution, look ya bara, salt solution has low water potential than the red blood cells. And this is the first mark. So guys, for the first mark, you need to mention what is the idea of the solution. What is the reason for the movement? So this is the first mark. The second mark, so water will travel from high water potential, which is the cell, to low water potential, which is the solution. And this should happen across partially permeable membrane. خلاص ألف مبروك, we took ال3 marks. So not all of the questions are really complicated. And there is no need to write all of this. What I mentioned, what you will write exactly. Let's go to question III. State why there was no change. Look at this question, Yabara. Why there was no change in the mean diameter of the red blood cells when we have 0.9 solution. That's what I said, okay? Because in 0.9 Yamalak, what happened? The concentration of the solution was equal to the concentration of the red blood cells itself. If we have same concentration, this means that there is no net movement. And nice to mention this, guys, net movement, okay? Yeah, same water potential. So we just explained the process in terms, yes, exactly, Elena, exactly, but you need to mention, please don't forget, you need to mention the idea of the concentration and which one is high and which one is low. Okay, you need to show the examiner that you know well what was the reason behind changing the shape, either by increasing diameter or decreasing diameter. But your sentence was really simple and nice. Lana said in the chat box, guys, that so it was just clarifying for the question in terms of osmosis. I think, yes, I agree on this. Let's go to question D. State why red blood cells burst when immersed in pure water, but plant cells don't. Who wants to answer? What is the structure, Yahya, in the plant cell? What is the structure in the plant cell not
Thick wall.
found in the animal cell? Yes? What was your answer?
عايز أقول because plant cell has a thick cell wall. أنا مش
ايه الحلاوة دي؟ ايه الحلاوة دي؟ 1 mark وخلاص. 1 mark وخلاص. If you don't know, Muhammad, if you don't know the answer, think well about the difference between plant cell and animal cell, and definitely you will go for cell wall. You will write exact answer, ya Yahya, as you said. Exact answer, because plant cell has a thick cell wall. Okay, let's go to question E. Malak, state 2 uses of water. Malak Zakaria. Yes, exactly, Abdurrahman. Yes, exactly, Adam. MashaAllah alaikum. State 2 uses of water in a plant. What do you
Act as
think?
a solvent,
Yes, act as a great solvent
for transporting the ions.
for transport the ions. طب why you didn't think about photosynthesis يا ملوك؟ ده يعني أسهل حاجة. It considered as a raw material for photosynthesis. Okay? أسهل حاجة ممكن نقولها.
هو الانسر
Transport
التاني
of
كان غلط ولا
ions.
صح؟
لا يا بابا صح, no problem what you mentioned. بس أنا usually when we have 2 answers and I know more than 2, I have to tell you because maybe in the exam you need more. That's what you said is right. Transport of ions is perfect. Act as a reactant used in photosynthesis is my answer, so it is perfect. And as a solvent is great. Medium for enzyme. I think Masauda might write this answer. It considered as a medium for enzyme and enzyme activity, enzyme reactions. احنا اتفقنا already يا آدم إنه there is no enzymes in the body of living organism can work without water, because the rest of the enzymes, or I say all enzymes, are hydrolytic. Hydrolytic, it means dissolves in water in order to work. This is another answer. يحيى ممكن يفكر أو بودي ممكن يفكر عبد الرحمن إنه يتكلم على pressure, for example. Okay, turgor pressure, turgidity of the plant cell, it could come from water. Okay, أو actually it's coming from the water. Support البلانت. maintain, هكتبها ازاي يا مسعودة؟ maintain turgidity. Okay, so all of these will be perfectly fine. Yes, Masauda?
Can you say that it helps or breaks down the metabolic reactions في cytoplasm ولا لا؟
Yes طبعا. Yes طبعا. It is a medium for metabolic reactions. It's perfect. طبعا صح. Okay. Dan, I did not hear your voice. Adam, I did not hear your voice. بلاش الجروث في الووتر يا يحيى. بلاش الجروث في الووتر. We have a lot of, because الجروث دي is a general word, is a general definition. So please try to be specific. Okay? Let's go to question 2. Question 2 is about hydrophytes. And look, we moved from the early beginning of the syllabus to hydrophytes in topic 18. variation, will continuous, with discontinuous, will adaptation, and so on. Shall we read the question together? Figure 2.1 is a photograph of some leaves of water lily, which is hydrophyte, and this water lily has adaptive features that are found in many different hydrophytes. So, Dan, describe what's meant by an adaptive feature. What does this mean? What's an adaptive feature? Yes, exactly, Adam. But this is 1 mark, Adam. You need to add something.
Can you hear me, sir?
Oh, yeah, now I can hear you, dear.
Okay, so it's a feature which allows organism to adapt to changes in the environment or to be
Yeah,
able to.
but I don't want, excuse me, perfect. But I don't want you to use adapt because it's found in the question. You can use survive instead.
Okay, it's survive and reproduce in an environment, right?
Perfect. But all what you said is 1 mark. We need to add, yeah, we need to add another mark by saying it's inherited feature.
Oh, okay.
It's something inherited because we don't have any other information about adaptive feature, Yadan. Actually, in the presentation and in the class, we mentioned it is inherited feature and that helps an organism to survive and reproduce, as you just mentioned. So I
Okay.
need to think about the 2 marks in order to get my answer. And again, as we said several times, it is 2 marks awarded for the idea, not for the sentence. So 1 mark, yeah, then you talk already for 1 word, inherited. And the 2nd mark for all what you wrote.
Okay.
Question B, yeah, thank you, dear. Question B, Adam. And you can text me if you can talk via your mic. So Abdurrahman, your answer was 1 mark. So we need to add, as we said with Dan. Malak Zakaria, this is a perfect answer. So this is the T section in the leaf. And I want you to state the names of the parts labeled A, B, C. And it is just a structure. What's A? Adam? Palisade? Yes. What's B? Sponge. And what's C? Yeah, airspace. Thank you, Khalaf. This is perfect. Okay. Let's go to the second question. 3 marks question. I want to give you just 1 minute to think. If you want to write something in the chat box, it will be perfectly fine. He's asking about how part C adapts the hydrophyte for its environment. And I'm talking about air spaces. If you want to see part C again, it is in front of you. Shady, do you think that we need in this part to talk about the size of the airspace, the number of airspace, and how it allows this plant to float? Because we need the plant to float on the surface in order to catch more light. What do you think? Yeah, I have received the answer from Barak. It allows more gas exchange into the leaf to help carrying out the process of photosynthesis. Yeah, but You did not steal the first mark from the examiner. This is 2 marks answer يا براء. So we can, your answer is perfectly fine, but it is 2 marks, not 3. So we need to write that in part C, which is the sponge, the air spaces are many, large, okay? So large, this means, no, for Khalaf, this is the 3 marks answer because it is less dense, or he's talking about how the large air spaces, and please write the spaces instead of holes, Khalaf. Air spaces, this is the scientific term, reduces the density, and it helps in floating in order to carry out the photosynthesis process, adding more surface area for gas exchange, and this will help in photosynthesis. So whatever your way of writing, but you need to talk about many air spaces, you need to talk about density and how it reduces density, you need to talk this allow the leaf to float, and finally this will help in photosynthesis. Look at this question. A scientist calculated the mean number of stomata per millimeter square in the upper and lower epidermis in tomato plants and water lily plants. Tomato plants are a type of terrestrial plants, and this is the data provided. The question is, look, 5 marks question, and I want Malak Ahmed to help me in this question, okay? In tomato plant, in upper epidermis, we have 10. And in lower epidermis, we have 129. In water lily, we have 475 in upper epidermis. This is the hydrophyte. And in lower epidermis, we have 0. There is no stomata in lower epidermis. And I want you to compare and explain the differences in the mean number and in water lily. So, Malak, could you please help me in answering this?
Okay, I'll describe first, okay?
You will compare by describing, okay? But you need to, you have to be very smart in using comparison in describing. So you will describe in a way of comparing the data. Yeah.
Wish I can describe بعد كده explain.
Yeah. But I mean, in the way of describing the data, you need to compare. So you need to say what's in the upper epidermis for tomato and what's in the lower. That's what I mean. Okay. It's not like reading the data and write it as a bullet point. You need to compare during the describe part. Yeah.
Okay, so الwater lily عندها stomata في upper epidermis only.
Exactly. I want the word only. This will give you a mark. The second point.
And then tomato.
Yeah.
It has more stomata في lower epidermis than upper.
Okay, this is the second point. In order to compare also, I can compare between the number of stomata in the upper epidermis in both plants. So you can say water lily is way larger than, or way increased in number of stomata in the upper epidermis in comparison with the tomato. Okay, this is the comparison. I think nothing else here. But when you are writing this answer and you're talking about number, please write mean number in stomata per millimeter square. Please, Yadan, write all of this. Write the heading in your answer. Okay, don't write numbers only. So what's the explanation for this, Malak? Tomato is a terrestrial plant, so it lives in somehow desert-like environment.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the Loss of water.
Yes, exactly. You're gonna talk about loss of water, and for water lily, you can talk about also how this helps water lily to float on the surface of water. So you will talk about the reduce of water in tomato, reduce of water loss in tomato. However, for water lily, you will talk about how this will provide more gas exchange and water, as water don't need to be conserved in water area or water body. Plant live in aquatic environment. Thank you, Malak. This is perfect. And this was from the limited number of questions يا أولاد اللي فيها الcomparison هتاخد مني 3 marks. However, 2 marks will be awarded للexplanation مش أكتر من كده, because we have 3 points in the comparison. Let's go to the next question. ما تقلقوش هنخلص بدري, الquestions اللي جاية مش طويلة. State the name of the cells that control the opening and closing of stomata. What is the name of those cells اللي بتكنترول الاستوماتا? The 2 cells in the lower
guard
epidermis.
cells.
Guard cells, exactly. Guard cells. Let's go to the next question. So now we have answered 2 questions of the exam. Question 3. Figure 3.1 is a diagram of the junction between 2 neurons in a healthy person. And now, figure 3.2 is a diagram of the junction between the same 2 neurons in a person who has Parkinson's disease. And this disease affects the nervous system. So don't worry and don't panic. We did not take the Parkinson's disease in our syllabus, but I told you several times you might find a disease or type of plant or type of animal in the exam you know nothing about, but it will never affect your answer. Please focus on the diagram. Please focus on the drawing in order to get the answer properly. Identify the parts labeled X and Y. What's X?
El
What's
vesicle.
X? X is a vesicle, and what's Y?
Synaptic gap.
Synaptic gap.
Synapse.
Yeah, synaptic gap or the synapse. So X is the vesicle and Y is the synaptic gap. Let's go to the question. This question is 5 marks question about Parkinson's disease, and he wants you to use the information, suggest and explain the effect of Parkinson's disease on a person movement. So my answer, Sarah, should be linked to the movement of a person by the end. I can see, بصوا يا ولاد, I can see in the diagram that we have in the normal person large amount of vesicles with large number of neurotransmitters. صح ولا لا يا عبد الرحمن? In comparison with figure 3.2, we have less vesicles and less neurotransmitters. So I need to talk about this as if I'm trying to explain or list the mechanism that the synapses do in order to transmit any chemical signals. Okay, so the first point that I have to mention is that movement will be slower. خدت أول mark, imagine. Movement will be slower. And this will slow the vesicles. Because there is few vesicles. If I have few vesicles, if I have few neurotransmitters, this means, talk about the mechanism, less neurotransmitters will diffuse to the synaptic area, and less will be bind to the receptor protein, so it will not help in the transmission of signals. I think if I wrote all of this, this means I reach the target of the question. We suggested what will happen for the movement. It will slow down. And we explain how this will happen in the Parkinson's disease. Yes, exactly. But you need, ya Malak, to link this. Okay, Masoud. No problem. You need to link this, ya Malak, to the movement because he's asking about the effect of the movement. يا ولاد اتعبوا شوية ان انتوا تقروا الكويستشن للآخر. اتعبوا شوية ان انتوا تفهموا الايديا بتاعت الكويستشن. Your answer should deliver a message to the examiner. Let's go to next question. Describe two ways nervous control differs from. Yes يا ملا.
لا أنا قصدي كنت عايزة أجاوب.
طيب يلا بينا.
الهرمونال is long term effect و it's transported
Yes, exactly.
is transported أو nervous is transported by nerve impulses.
Yeah, exactly. But please, you need to write. The point is related to what? يعني لازم أكتب إنه nervous control by transmission of electrical signals. ما ينفعش تكتبي لي الانسر وخلاص as it is. هي دي البوينت في دماغك. For example, it could be right if you are talking about a nervous control يا ملك all في ال 2 points. لو أنا هتكلم عن nervous control في ال 2 points, I can write in the transmission of signals by neurons it is rapid or short lived. بس لو هتكلم على الهرمونال كنترول بليز وضحي للاكزامينر. and we said several times انه احنا بنتعامل مع الاكزامينر as he has no English and he has no biology. Okay, بس the points are fine طبعا. Let's go to question D. We answered a question like this in the class. It was more than 2 marks about the mRNA. Who could answer this question with me? Reem. Yeah, Reem, I did not hear your voice, yeah, Reem, today. Can you?
Yes.
Via chat box? Yeah, okay. So, okay, fine. I can hear you now. Explain how the shape of the receptor protein is determined.
عشان based on the order of the base sequence of the mRNA.
Yeah, exactly. From the mRNA, even if you forgot the mRNA, you can also talk about the DNA. So we can mention that the sequence of bases in DNA or mRNA determine the sequence of amino acids. But how could I take the 2 marks? We should talk about
ribosomes assemble the amino acids to proteins.
Yeah, exactly. No, imagine حتى لو انت قسمتي بس الانسر انه this will determine the sequence of amino acids will sequence of amino acids determine the shape of a receptor protein, you will take the 2 marks. يعني حتى even if you did not mention how it has been assembled, okay, برضه هاخد ال 2 marks. انا بس عايز split الانسر ل 2 parts. part of الامينو acid formation, then part of البروتين, واشوهم ان انا فاهمه ان البروتين made of الامينو acids. Cell membrane also contain, thank you so much. Cell membranes also contain protein carriers. Describe the role of the protein carriers. Think about, please, the active transport. Who will answer with me? على الchat box or tell me the answer.
مستر ممكن أقول إنه بتموف الأيونز.
Yes يا مايا.
من هو low to high concentration بتموف الأيونز across membrane.
Exactly. by ايه by active transport انت
By-
طبعا
by-
هتكتب by active transport في الانسر.
برضه energy.
بس if I wrote by active transport there is no need to write using energy لأنه this is a description for that point يا مايا just to save time in the exam. يعني active transport and using energy is the same mark.
اوكي تمام.
Okay, it's not two different marks in a question like this. Let's go to another point يعني عشان نقدر ناخد المارك. Question 4. Question 4 is an enzyme question. Finally, question is easy and direct. He wants you to identify the optimum temperature, and it will be 40 definitely. And then he wants you to explain the results. I will not talk about this because it is 6 marks to explain the results, but no problem at all. We can explain there is a big difference between explain the results with describe only. Explain the results, this means it will be a link question to the describe and explain. Okay, let's يبقى الايديا هنا هتكلم فيها عن ايه يا ولاد عشان نعرف how to take ال 6 marks. I will يعني I'm talking as Magid يعني I will talk about the temperature before ال 40 before the optimum how increasing the temperature increase the collagen increase the kinetic energy and so on. Within I will talk about at 40 will optimum وازاي الانزيم بيreach the highest level where it peaks at this point. Then I will talk about after 40 وازاي it starts to denature. وهنا هتكلم على ال denaturation والenzyme substrate complex الactive site change the shape so it will not combine to the substrate. يعني أنا my point of view إنه لو الquestion ده يا يحيى up to 8 or 9 marks هعرف أكتب فيه. لأنه the word explain the results it's not a describe only or explain only. It's mixed between both. طيب خلينا go for question C. Carbon dioxide was supplied in excess at each temperature during investigation. Explain why. Why do we have more carbon dioxide? Do you think it's related to the limiting factor idea? What do you think? Answer loudly or answer via chat box يا ولاد. No problem. Think with me about the idea. Yes, exactly, Abdurrahman. We don't want carbon dioxide to be a limiting factor here. فأنا لما أزود الكربون dioxide, I'm pretty sure that this will not limit the reaction or the rate of photosynthesis. So the answer should be related in the carbon dioxide is not a limiting factor, but this part is 1 mark. طب ما أنا عايز كمان أقول to make sure يا عبد الرحمن إنه temperature only is the limiting factor and to ensure إن the effects are caused by temperature. يبقى to make sure إن the effects are caused by temperature, I can definitely write the 2 points دول أقدر آخد بيهم ال 2 marks. ممكن عبد الرحمن يقول لي sir I think يعني it is the same. أقول لك لا معلش it's not the same in this question. If you mentioned in the carbon dioxide not a limiting factor and you need in the temperature to make sure in the temperature هي limiting factor, fine. Those are 2 different points. Next question. Suggest why not all of the oxygen produced by the leaf is released. كأني بالظبط بقول لك إيه يا عمر؟ كأني بقول لك إيه يا خلف؟ إنه what are the uses of oxygen in the leaf? So you could mention, is it 1 mark or more? It's 2
مستر
marks.
ممكن أقول عن ال aerobic respiration.
Yes, exactly. We are using leaf, oxygen in the leaf في aerobic respiration. And what else? What else? احنا قلنا ان هو هيرياكت مع الاكسجين في aerobic respiration. it is 1 mark يا ولاد. I thought it's 2 marks. لو هي 2 marks we will explain more and clarify more ازاي بنuse it وبتcombine مع الاكسجين for aerobic respiration. And we could write another idea. Describe the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis. What is the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis?
Can I say it absorbs light and converts it to chemical energy?
ايه ده يا خلف ده؟ This is perfect. This is
شكراً.
perfect. It absorbs or traps light, converts it into chemical energy.
مستر كان
And
here for photosynthesis.
لا, raise your voice تاني يا ملك. I can't hear you well.
ممكن أقول إن هي a raw material for photosynthesis.
He's asking about the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, not about the raw material. Your answer will be perfect if you wrote about the carbon dioxide and water. I'm talking about the specific role of chlorophyll. chlorophyll مش هتكلم ان هو raw material. chlorophyll هتكلم ازاي بيكابتشر اللايت وبيكونفيرت اللايت energy into chemical energy in order to form الجلوكوز.
أنا قصدي كنت أكتب اللي هو الفوتوسينثيسيس مش هتحصل من غير الكلوروفيل، ولا ده غلط؟
طب ما الأحسن، إيه رأيك إنه الأحسن إن إحنا نكتب إزاي الكلوروفيل هيعمل photosynthesis؟ يعني this will be fine وهتضمن لي 2 marks. لو اتكلمت على دور الكلوروفيل exactly إنه إزاي بيتراب اللايت energy وبيكونفيرت لكيميكال energy.
دول كده 2 marks.
2 marks if you wrote إنه بيابزورب اللايت وبيترانسفير اللايت energy لكيميكال energy. عايزة تأمني نفسك بواحدة كده، أنت خدتي 2 marks خلاص لأنه بيابزورب وبيكونفيرت. بس عايزة تقولي third point هتقولي إنه this will help in the synthesis of الجلوكوز.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. يلا question 5. This exam is 6 questions only guys, don't worry. مش هنقعد كتير. بس if you answered with me quickly.
مستر هي 5 ايه ليها علاقة بالسنجل والدبل سيركيليشن والكلام ده ولا لأ؟
هو بيقول لك 2 ways in which the circulatory system of a fish is different from. طبعا
مستر ممكن أقول إن الهيومن عندهم lungs بس الفيش عندهم جيلز ولا لأ؟
انا بتكلم على السيركيلاتوري. ده انت هتتضربي يا ملك حالا. انا بتكلم على السيركيلاتوري مش الريسبيراتوري.
اوكي.
ركزي كلمة واحدة ممكن تضيع لي درجتين. السيركيلاتوري يعني الهارت والبلاد فيسلز. يحيى your direction was right. الفيش دي سنجل ولا دبل؟
سنجل.
برافو. يبقى انا هقول اول حاجه انه single circulation لان البلاد بيباس through the heart once في الفيش. الحاجه الثانيه
مستر ممكن أتكلم عن
الاستراكشر بتاع الهارت. تعالى نتكلم على الاستراكشر بتاع الهارت يا يحيى. فاكر الهارت بتاع الفيش كان فيه only one atrium and one ventricle وما كانش فيه septum ولا separator between الاكسجينيتد ولا دي اوكسجينيتد رايت؟ طب ما دي بوينت ستراكشر وايز اقدر اكتبها. يبقى خدنا ال2 ماركس على طول. مايا كنت عايزه تقولي حاجه.
مستر أنا كنت عايزة أقول نفس البوينت اللي حضرتك قلتها دلوقتي بتاع دي
طيب
oxygenated part.
خلاص برافو عليك. يعني only ممكن كمان يا يحيى نقول انه throughout the heart only deoxygenated blood اللي بيباس في الفيش.
تمام.
ماشي، ما دام انت قلت تمام يبقى تمام. امال ايه يا جدع؟ امال ايه؟
شكرا
يس يا دان. ماشي. ما كلمتش مروان يدخل الميتنج؟
يا مستر خلاص بقى يا مستر.
يا عم انا بسأل يا عم. يا عم انا بسأل. Okay, yeah. Dan, you raised your hand. Do you have any question?
No, sorry, it was by mistake.
اوكي. don't say sorry يا دان، انت تعملي اللي انت عايزاه. السوري ايه؟ يلا. Explain the advantage of double circulatory system. ايه الادفانتج of the double circulatory system آدم؟
Mr. هو it prevents the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood.
حلو قوي محمد، يا سلام. انا قلت ان انت you are really shy ومش عايز تجاوب، عشان كده مش عايز اسالك. قلت اشوفك في السكول بقى ونشوف القصه دي. ماشي. This is perfect. Okay. بس this will be 1 mark. عايزين نقول اكتر. Okay. Prevent the mixing 1 mark. بص يا محمد، فكر how could you split what you mentioned all ل 3 points. The point of the mixing will give you the first mark. Okay. طيب. Do you think in the flow of the blood will be under high pressure to the body ولا لأ؟
low
Or
pressure.
هو it's high pressure.
طبعا under high pressure in the body. This will be second point. Okay.
مستر
Do you
هي ليه
think in this will prove؟ هيا يا يحيى قول.
هي هاي بريشر ليه؟
high pressure لأنه as long as إن أنت عندك blood oxygenated وأنت you need to deliver it to the rest of the respiring tissue، أنت محتاج high blood pressure لأنه أنت هيجو imagine from the heart to the rest of the body. فأنت محتاج تخرج ال blood under high pressure وتسبورت ده كمان by pulsation of the blood vessels.
تمام.
والكلام ده من from the heart to the body not to the lungs. بالعكس اللونجز are soft tissue، ما ينفعش البلاد يجو under high pressure لللونجز.
تمام.
Do you think ان احنا كمان نقدر نتكلم على ال efficient blood supply بالاكسجين والجلوكوز يا دان؟ مش this will be another point. If I have more concentration of الجلوكوز في الاكسجينيتد blood، مش this will be really efficient انه يدeliver الاكسجين quickly to all of the respiring tissues. Okay. يبقى in this question please refer back to the presentation. There is a slide to show you the importance of the splitting between the oxygenated with deoxygenated blood, and there is another slide for the advantages of double circulation. Honestly السلايد دي فيها 3 points for the 3 marks awarded في الquestion يا محمد. Let's go. Thank you يا محمد for your answer. Yes. خلينا نقول yeah.
Mr. Megan,
Yes يا دان.
I have a question on the pressure part. Isn't one of the advantages that it lowers the pressure in the pulmonary artery?
Exactly طبعا less pressure in order to protect the tissue of the lungs. It is one of the advantage طبعا.
The pressure is another advantage. I don't understand.
What?
Which you said to, and like the pressure is good because then the blood is flowing at a fast rate.
I think
Can
that
you
you
hear?
are lagging يا دان، بس هي I think your question is related to the pressure. Now I can hear you. Yes. قولي تاني كده.
I said مش قبل شوية you said to يحيى إنه ال pressure is an advantage because the blood then flows at a fast rate.
This is for the left side of the heart, not the right side.
هو the oxygenated part.
Yes, for the oxygenated part. If I will be in your place, if I mention the point of the pressure, خلاص, there is no need to talk about a rate. I can talk about the efficiency of delivery للأكسجين والكربون للجلوكوز والأكسجين.
So we
Okay.
need high pressure on the left side, but not on the right side.
Yes, on the right side, we need low pressure because we are taking the blood through the pulmonary artery to the lung tissues. I told you in the class, the lung tissue is the softest tissue in the body. It's like air bubbles. So we don't want to damage the alveoli.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think ظلمتك وإن الإنترنت problems كانت عندي. I think بس it's okay. يلا نخش على C. There is a circulation where he's giving you a lot of letters. Please don't forget إنه X is the hepatic portal vein. أنا بقول لكم from now, if we have a question on a circulation, هيجي لنا الhepatic portal vein. Well, that's not because I'm a perfect teacher, because this is the only extended label in the circulation. كل الليبلز الباقية كلها خدناها في الكور اي جي في year 9. only الهيباتيك issues, الهيباتيك vein والهيباتيك artery والهيباتيك portal vein. فبليز focus on this. خلينا نجو for any letter اللي فيه absorption of the product of digestion into the blood. Which letter? I think this will be in the small intestine in letter C. Let's go to the next question. هو بيقول لك يا يحيى absorption. Absorption لازم دماغك تروح للسمول intestine على طول على طول. Excretion of carbon dioxide from the body. الاكسكريشن للكربون دايوكسيد from the body بيحصل منين؟ ايه كاربون دايوكسيد. فبليز اقروا الكويستشن كويس لانه ممكن اول ما حد يلاقي the word excretion you go for a renal على طول. Okay. Next question. He's asking about formation of urine. This is related to renal. Sorry. Yes. D. Formation of urine في D. Okay. لأنه أنا I took already the blood through the renal artery وinside the kidney الurine will be formed. ركزوا بقى يا ولاد. I'm telling you about اليورين not اليوريا. اليورين not اليوريا عشان ما حدش يقول لي سير هو انت حضرتك مش قلت ان اليوريا formed in the liver. I'm talking about اليورين الفلويد اللي هو excreted from the kidney. Let's go to the production of bile. The production of bile.
B.
The production of bile will be in B exactly. In B exactly because B is the liver. يبقى هو الكونكشن ده يا ولاد هو اللي جوه الاورجنز. الانتركونكتد blood vessels دي هي اللي inside the organs itself. Okay. تعالوا go for next question. النيم طبعا بتاع give you a hint هو الهيباتيك portal vein. عايزني describe the role of the liver in excretion. I think we should mention any process يا آدم. We should mention any process يا لانا when we are talking about a liver. Deamination process. The removal of the amino group from the amino acid. Okay. Forming the urea. And the urea then will be released into the blood to be filtered by the body. Okay. Yes طبعا the oxidation of lactic acid is okay. The oxidation of the lactic acid is okay. It's perfect. Okay. يلا وده كان 4 marks. Question 6 quickly. State the names of 2 hormones released by the ovaries.
Wasn't one of them estrogen and the other one was I'm not sure about the one though.
Estrogen and progesterone يا خلف. Okay. عبد الرحمن, you asked about letter F. Okay, just a second. Letter F, it could be the first part of the digestive system. It could be the stomach. Okay? Because C is the small intestine and B is the liver. So it could be the stomach and the esophagus and all of this. ماشي يا حبيبي, no problem يا آدم. I know, and you're so honest يا آدم, and I know this. So Khalaf, you got it? Estrogen and progesterone, both are the hormones released from the ovaries. The other hormones are released from the brain or from the pituitary gland, the follicle stimulating hormone and the LH. So for the female's reproductive system or the female cycle, we have 4 hormones, 2 from the ovary and 2 from the pituitary gland or the brain. That's it. During pregnancy, antibodies are acquired by the fetus from the mother. State the organ the antibodies cross to reach the fetus. What do you think? Placenta. Placenta. Placenta is the main part or the main, yes, bravo. El placenta, the main part or the main organ, antibodies or anything will be delivered to the fetus by el placenta. Okay. There is a question related to the breastfeeding, and he's telling you a baby was breastfed for 6 months. The concentration of antibodies obtained from breast milk and the concentration of antibodies made by the baby itself was measured, were measured, and those are the lines of the graph. And usually, if we have a key, I want you to take a look on the key, please. A lot of questions, and they are totally direct, and he wants you to complete all of the complete points from the graph. So after birth, the concentration of antibodies acquired from the mother decreases rapidly to 0 at, we reach 0 امتى يا ولاد? At 6 months. So we will write 6 here. Antibodies start being produced by cells called, what is the name of the cells? Lymphocytes. And the total concentration of antibodies in the baby from both sources is, what do you think? 56. 56. And if you have the paper in front of you, it will be way better. And the last point in the complete is 3. Concentration acquired is 3. Could you please think for 2 minutes about those questions and write your answer? There is no need to say it loudly. Write your answer on the chat box. 2 minutes, and then we will end the meeting. حاضر يا Lana, I will go back to the graph, but please try to send me the answer of both questions. Because one of them we did not mention in the class. I want to see your way of thinking in. Okay. Exactly then, exactly. Okay. Honestly, it's not in the specification, but we have to know this. As long as that's why I tried to answer with you this exam, and I told you it's extremely important to answer this, because if we have a question like the breastfeeding in the exam, so nice to know the idea of the breastfeeding question. And by the way, nothing is coming out of the specification, but we need to collect some ideas in the question of breastfeeding, and if it comes, it will come like this. Okay, exactly like this, the benefits of breastfeeding, and it will be like 2 or 3 marks question. I can say one of the benefits, as thank you so much for all what you said. The passive immunity is one of the benefits, and the idea of forming a bond between mother and a baby, the idea of stated, you are all thinking about the baby and no one think about the health conditions of the mother, because if she has that amount of fluids in the body, this might be a media of infection. Okay, for triple I, state 2 ways after other than breastfeeding that a baby can acquire immunity. Simply vaccination. Simply vaccination. So vaccination is a way, and imagine بقى يا مايا is second way انه you got affected اصلا. انه you got infected, this is a way by which we can acquire immunity. مش انا يا دان, if I have an infection, just a second يا ولاد. I'm sorry, معلش, I replied to a message. مش احنا اتفقنا انه if we have an infection, this already be create, or the antibody will be produced, or this will keep a memory cells in the body. ف look at the way of thinking. ممكن جدا ما يجيش في دماغنا نتكلم على الانفكشن at all, بس it is a method. يبقى vaccination or الانفكشن. Explain the importance of the shape of the antibody. خلاص, آخر 2 questions. طبعا you need to talk about the antibody والantigen and how it form a complementary shape and how it be developed to a memory cell. خدنا 3 marks. Last question, antibodies are proteins. I want you just to write elements يا براء اللي بتفورم اللي موجودة في البروتين with the carbohydrates and the fats. Yes, يا خالة.
Oxygen.
وين يا ماي؟ براء, are you still in the meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. What are the elements? Elements اللي بتفورم البروتين وcommon في الكربوهيدرات والفاتس. Oxygen?
Oxygen.
Yes, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Lana, she asked me a question about the concentration. Let me go. The total concentration of antibodies in the body. We got the at 4 the reading at 4 for both, Yelena. So at 4 it was 18 here, and at 4 it was like 38, I guess. 38. So 18 و 38 جبنا ال 56. So we got both readings. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. How was it? Please inform me بس يا بل.
جود يا مستر.
إيه الامتحان ده ايه رأيكم فيه؟
لا كويس.
معلش I'm sorry. الكلبة عاملة قلق. Okay. طيب الحمد لله. يعني انتوا you need to work on this ونشتغل بنفس الطريقة نحل امتحانات مع بعض. طيب. It's okay. Fine. Thank you so much for listening. See you tomorrow in school. إن شاء الله ميعادنا اللي جاي Sunday وهقول لكم بالظبط إمتى. وإن شاء الله يعني يمكن 2 weeks كده ونعمل كمان 3 sessions weekly not only 2. كل ما نحل exams كل ما هنبقى أحسن بكتير. Okay? Thank you so much يا حبايبي.
باي.
Enjoy your سحور.
Bye, mister.
وهاتولي
Thank you.
معاكم حاجة
Bye,
بكرة.
mister. Thank you.
يلا.
Bye.
باي. باي.
Mr.
نعم.
Adam wants to say hi.
Sorry.
Adam wants to say hi.
حبيبي. Okay. Thank you so much حبايبي. Thank you يا آدم. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye يا حبايبي. Bye.